Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hello viewers, good afternoon. Welcome to PPIA webinar on Yellow Peas. Before we start, my humble request to Mr. Habib Khanani, kindly do a recitation of Holy Quran.
Should I start now?
Habib bhai, yeah. Kindly do a recitation of Holy Quran, please, Habib bhai.
Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والضحى والليل إذا سجى ما ودعك ربك وما قلى وللآخرة خير لك من الأولى ولسوف يعطيك ربك فترضى ألم يجدك يتيما فآوى ووجدك ضالا فهدى ووجدك عائلا فأغنى فأما اليتيم فلا تقهر وأما السائل فلا تنهر وأما بنعمة ربك فحدث صدق الله العظيم.
Thank you, Habib bhai.
Okay,
My name is Farhaj Batra, owner of Batra Sons, Pakistan. Batra Sons is an importer and inventor in the field of agro-based commodities. Batra Sons also have pulses splitting plants in Karachi and are known and a big brokerage and trading house as well. I am your host today. Now I would like to introduce our honorable panelists. We have Mr. Abhishek Agarwal as a panelist from Viterra BV. Viterra head office in Rotterdam, Netherlands. Viterra is a world-leading, fully integrated agriculture network with operations in 37 countries and more than 17,500 employees worldwide. Viterra has big storage and processing facilities, transport assets, and marketing operations. Abhishek will be representing Black Sea markets. Thank you, Abhishek, for joining us. We have another panelist, Mr. Farhan Adam from Marina Commodities. Marina Commodities based in Toronto, Canada. The company was established in 2002 and is engaged in trading and exporting pulses from all over the world, including oilseeds and various commodities. Mr. Farhan will be covering Canada and China markets. Thank you, Farhan bhai, for your valuable time. Mr. Brijesh Panda is our third panelist from Agrocorp International, Singapore. Agrocorp International head office in Singapore. Agrocorp International is a leading integrated agriculture commodity and food solutions provider with presence in 16 countries and 25 offices. They have processing facilities in Canada and they are dealing in pulses, oilseeds, cotton, sugar, and many more products. Brajesh will be representing Bangladesh, India, and UAE markets. Thank you, Brajesh, for your valuable time. One of our panelists is Mr. Zakir Kas from Zakir Enterprises, Pakistan. He heads pulses operations of Mohammed Farooq Impact and Mohammed Zakir Enterprises. Zakir Enterprises is an importer and a local brokerage house in Karachi. Zakir will be representing Pakistan market. Thank you, Zakir Kas, for joining us. Our last but not the least panelist is Mr. Habib Khanani from Silk Route Corporation, Pakistan. Silk Route Corporation is an importer and milling facility for splitting flour under the banner of M Foods. Silk Route established in 2015 and deals in lentils, desi chickpeas, yellow peas, and other pulses varieties. Mr. Habib Khanani will be covering Pakistan market as well. Thank you, Mr. Habib Khanani, for joining us and for your valuable time.
Thank you, Farhad bhai.
Sponsors for our today's webinar are PKT Associates USA, Agri Global Commodities, United Arab Emirates. We have 5 sponsors from Canada: Global Commodities Traders, Adroit, Marina Commodities, Targray, and DG Global. We also have 5 sponsors from Pakistan: Dhamia Trading Company, Doni and Company, Maskalandar Group, Awam Group, and Batra Sons. Thanks to all sponsors for their contributions. Now it's time to get valuable information from our guests on Yellow Peas. Let's begin with Mr. Abhishek Agarwal. Abhishek, what is the total estimated production in Black Sea 2021 and how much is previous stock balance?
Thank you, Faraz bhai. Hello, everybody. I hope everybody is keeping safe in this tough times we are living in, and we are like almost coming out of it. I'll start. So Black Sea, all put together, our estimates, let's say, I mean, majorly two countries contribute to the production of yellow peas, which is Russia and Ukraine. Russia, we expect a crop of around 2.5 to 2.7 million tons. Ukraine, somewhere close to 600 to 650,000 tons. All put together, we will see a supply of 3.3 million tons, give or take, of which Russia domestic consumption, as per previous estimates, and for the feed market, that we estimate is somewhere close to 2.1 million tons. Ukraine, somewhere close to 200,000, 250,000 tons. So all put together, we might see an exportable surplus of somewhere close to 900K, and that will go into feed market, which is in the European countries, Spain, Italy, and few other countries. I mean, nowadays we are seeing, because of pea protein demand, we are seeing demand from Netherlands and other countries as well. So we believe that somewhere close to, for India subcontinent, which is Pakistan, Bangladesh, Nepal, if it comes to picture for buying in Dubai, somewhere close to, give or take, 400,000 tons at max to max should be available from Black Sea for export. Maybe give or take. It all depends on price, what happens in the feed market. But yeah, at a price somewhere close to that should be available, not more. It can go down as well, but yeah.
Okay, so 3.3 million ton crop as per your idea.
Correct.
How much quantity they export, and are they using locally? If yes, so for what purpose Russia use locally?
Faraz bhai, local consumption is for feed actually mostly, and it is somewhere, as I said, somewhere close to 2.3 to 2.4 million tons all put together from Russia and Ukraine. That's where the feed market is. Plus, apart from that, other countries use it for feed. So Spain has annual demand of 500,000 to 600,000 tons. Italy needs around 200,000 tons, and few other European nations, they also need. So that is fed from Black Sea and Baltic. So Baltic, we're not talking as it, because Baltic has been very inactive, and it has been mostly using the local crop, and it is consumed locally. So we have not seen much of the exports from Baltic into Pakistan or Pakistan at the moment. So yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
Okay, Farhan bhai, I have same question for you. What is the total estimated production in Canada 2021, and how much is previous stock balance?
First of all, I would like to congratulate PPIA for hosting these webinars. You guys are doing an amazing job. I've been seeing your PPIA webinars before as well, and it's really good that what you guys have put forward as just the Pakistan Association. Congratulations on that, first of all.
Thank you, Farhan bhai.
As far as Canadian yellow peas are concerned, there are a lot of things happening. Recently, I would just like to give you a small background that in the last 1 week, things have really changed in Canada. There's big heat wave that's going on. You must have heard news all across Canada, including Toronto. I've been living here for the last 30 years. I haven't seen such hot weather. Saskatchewan has been burning hot as well. And the forecast isn't looking that great either. So it's not just affecting peas or lentils, it's affecting the whole crop. Canola is being hit the hardest. In terms of your question on yellow peas production, is going to be a very tough one to answer. Generally, last year we had a production of 3.8 million tons. This year, we were expecting a 3.4 million ton production because the acreage had gone down by at least 5% on peas, and big reduction on green peas acreage, which is overall 10% reduction on the acreage of peas. But I think yellow peas went down by 5 to 6%. However, the yield now, we will nowhere be close to an average yields. We are going to be much lower than average yields. On average yields, we would have seen a production of 3.4 to 3.5 million, where now it's a guesstimate by anyone that some people are saying that we have already lost 10% of yield, maybe we have already lost 20% of yields. And if this heat continues to be the way it is in the next week or so, things may look even more different.
Okay. So I think you said 3.8 million last year production, correct?
That's right.
So how much quantity they exported to China last year?
We have exported almost 2.2 million tons until April only.
2.2.
This was until April only.
Until
so May,
April
June,
only.
July. So we expect a large, China became a very large buyer because there was such big demand of feed market last year. The feed prices went crazy and China became a very large importer of yellow peas. Actually, it's been the largest importer since last few years, since India has closed the borders, but China has been a very big importer. So we expect about 2.4 to 2.5 million tons we would be exporting by the year's end into China.
Okay. Thank you. Zakir, how much quantity imported by Pakistan in last year and how much is the total consumption annually? Are you there, Zakir? I think.
Hello.
I think Zakir.
No. Yes, our first voice is clear. You are hearing me?
Yeah, voice is clear. Yeah.
Okay.
My question
mic
is for you.
Yeah.
My question is, how much quantity imported by Pakistan in last year and how much is the total consumption annually?
For us, actually, last year we have Pakistan imported around 240,000 to 260,000 tons. Till May 2021, we have arrived around from Jan 2021 to May 2021, we have arrived around 4,000 containers, and the consumption of the Pakistan is similar and is depend on the price. What the price you will get the product over here.
Okay. And when yellow peas consumption is at its peak in Pakistan?
Basically, you see when there is a month of Ramzan and before 2 to 3 months, you will get the huge consumption for the yellow peas. And we already buying and imported and make preparation for our consumption before 2 to 3 months for yellow peas for the consumption, and is before 2 to 3 months before the holy month of Ramzan.
You mean they buy for Ramzan mostly?
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Brijesh, I have same question for you. How much quantity Bangladesh and UAE import of yellow peas per annum?
Thanks for Razbhai. First of all, good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, wherever you are based. And I am really thankful to PPIA for organizing such a wonderful webinar under these circumstances where the world is suffering. It's a commendable job, and I'm really thankful that I have been invited to participate in the webinar. Thanks again. Coming back to your question for the imports for the UAE and Bangladesh markets, I'll start with UAE market first. As we know, UAE is mostly a processor and re-exporter, and nowadays their inherent consumption is not that significant. But still, since last 2 years, what I have seen, their processing facilities have increased their efficiency, and they have got access to other GCC markets, Iran and Saudi Arabia, where the consumption is there for the yellow peas. So if we put a rough number, though it's difficult to assess the exact number, but what the estimation we have, Dubai itself imports close to 40 to 50,000 tons per annum. And all of them, like about the major chunk of this import is from Black Sea region. Last year, there were some exceptional trades happening in bulk vessels for Canadian peas, but that was one of the experiments, and we never know whether that will be replicated or not. But overall, we can say UAE imports is around lower side 40, and higher we can say 50 to 55,000 tons per annum, and mainly used for re-export. Coming back to Bangladesh, Bangladesh is one of the major consumers of the yellow peas at the moment, standing behind China. Since last 3 years, what we have seen, the import for peas into Bangladesh have increasing. And if I give you an estimation, since last 3 years, the import number was somewhere around 500 to 550,000 tons. And last year, it was somewhere around 600 to 650,000 tons. But this current what will distribute, because there may be a difference between the crop year and the marketing year where we are discussing, but I'm giving you the numbers have the increasing trend. Last year, they imported close to 800,000 tons. So it is like increasing 100,000 tons per annum. Basically, there may be different reasons for that. Their inherent consumption is going up. And since India has closed the border since last 3 years, there is opportunities to re-export and some processed products, something of kind of a re-trade kind of thing. But what we see that their imports have been increasing with no production of their own and consumption increasing. We see the demand from Bangladesh going to be robust. Particularly, they are one of the players right now, apart from China, who are ready to take bulk vessels. So we see that Bangladesh is a significant and major player in the yellow peas import at the moment.
Mr. Habib, how much quantity of yellow peas crushed daily for splitting, and how much consumption of processed or clean yellow peas locally?
Hello, everyone. I would first like to thank PPIA for allowing us to be part of this experience. And the main reason why I feel that we do this is to share information, and that may allow us to come closer and understand how the global market works, how processes work in different countries. For example, I did not know that Bangladesh was such a big importer of yellow peas. So, this kind of information sharing is good for us so that we can increase coordination and cooperation for future, opportunities. So, as per your question, Faraj bhai, I think that in the down season, usually we are processing around 25 containers per day. So that would translate to around 600 to 700 containers per month. But that's in the down season. So in the high season, where there's heavier demand, we probably go up to 40 containers per day, which translates to around 1,100 containers a month. So I would like to think, like Zakir Bhai said, that there are 3 to 4 months of high demand, starting 2 months prior to Ramadan, and even a month after Ramadan, the demand stays well up to Bakra Eid. So in those months, we can expect around 1,100 containers per month being processed. But then the down season comes in, especially in the winter months. And in those months, we can say that, those 7 to 8 months are probably 700, 800 containers a month, depending on the prices of other commodities. But I think that 700 to 1,100 should be a good idea for monthly product, monthly consumption of yellow peas in our mills in Pakistan.
And yellow peas process and clean. I asked you yellow peas process and clean locally. How much consumption?
Okay. So around 95% of yellow peas is processed for yellow split peas and flour, and around only maybe 5% is used as a whole. 5% is used as a whole yellow peas, machine cleaned whole yellow peas supplied to the market is probably around 5%. It's a small market.
5%. Okay. And what is the purpose of Pakistan to use yellow split peas and its flour?
If we consider the markets that yellow peas is used in, firstly, I think it's a cheaper substitute for desi chickpeas. That's historically what it was, but eventually it's created its own market. So the first market I would like to think is an economical substitute for dal chana. So in those markets in interior Sindh, interior Punjab, where people can't afford dal chana, they might be consuming this to make their meals. The second market is for flour, which is primarily used in those months of Ramadan. So for pakora, besan. So you can call it pakora or gatia and stuff like that. So that Rajab, Shaban, Ramadan, these 3 months, we are going to see a spike in the demand for this, because this is something that people always need on their iftar table, the pakora, So the third market which exists, according to my knowledge, is the snack foods market. In this, we will be using yellow split peas, yellow whole peas, as well as flour. And this would be more popularly called Nimco, but we would like to also call it confectionery and snack foods industry. So this is an all-year-round market. I think the demand for Nimco or salted snacks using yellow peas flour and yellow peas splits has been increasing, and this is a healthier trend compared to using potatoes and stuff like that. So I think that Nimco market is an all-year-round market. It's always there, and this is also a major market that yellow peas is used in.
Okay, Gathia. I don't think so, Brijesh will have breakfast without Gathia.
Favorite of Gujaratis. Whoever has gone to those part must have tasted that.
Okay, Brijesh, same question for you also. 800,000 tons, for what purpose Bangladesh use yellow peas?
Yes, yellow peas in Bangladesh is majorly used. It is like their habit, you can say it's a food habit. They use it split dal type processed product. It's not like it's cooked dal which they use, and that is basically they consume it in the morning breakfast. It's a staple food. Every, like you can say, every every other person in Bangladesh who goes to work, before that they have this breakfast where they use the split yellow peas in form of a dal, that is cooked dal. This cannot be replaced with chickpeas dal because it's much more high priced. Chickpeas is definitely not a replacement, so it is economical, and this is a kind of a food habit which Bangladesh prefers to have. They use this paratha and this yellow split peas dal. Apart from this, the consumption constitutes about 40 to 50% of the entire import volume what they have. Even it may go up to 60% depending on the seasonality. Apart from that, the next requirement what we have seen is for the besan, that the flour, which is cheapest replacement for the chickpeas flour. Of course, because of the price advantage, they use this yellow peas to prepare besan. And as Zakir Bhai and Habib Bhai already mentioned, this before the holy month of Ramadan, the consumption increases significantly for this besan and pakoda consumption. This is all the food habit is the same over there as well. So their import volumes and the demand also increases significantly just before the holy month of Ramadan. And major chunk of import, like 65% of the total import happens before that. And between the two Eid festivals, their consumption is a little bit slow. And just before the second Eid, which we see next month, is there. Then we'll see again their consumption going up. And after that, it remains dormant. Majorly, we can say we can distribute 60% of the consumption is for that morning breakfast dal, balance 30 to 35% for their flour consumption in terms of besan, and balance is whole. What they use in salted snacks and all that is the common consumption. Unlike other markets, there is no consumption of yellow peas into feed market.
Okay. Farhan Bhai, you said China use in feed market yellow peas. So I heard they are using some noodle products also. Is it correct?
China has been a very interesting story. It started only a few years back when they started importing peas. That was mainly for the vermicelli production. They were using the starch out of peas. And they started on a very small scale from they were importing 100,000 tons, 200,000 tons, and slowly that production started, the import started going up. So they have three uses in China. First of all, the use is for vermicelli production, where they are extracting the starch and using that starch to make vermicelli noodles. Secondly, their consumption is for protein extraction. So this has been a going trend nowadays everywhere in the world, like in North America, also now a lot of protein extraction plants are coming up, but China has been a pioneer in that. And protein extraction has been going on for quite some time there, where they've been re-exporting that protein mainly into North America, where the consumption is high. And obviously the third part has been feed, and feed is all dependent on pricing. If the prices are low, China has been a huge market for feed. Last year, since all the feed complex was very high, so big amount of yellow peas has gone into the feed market as well.
Okay. Okay. Abhishek, one most important question is, last season, there was no container shortage in Russia like we saw in Canada and Australia. Are you seeing this year any shipping problem from Black Sea?
Yes, Faraz bhai, the shortage of containers is worldwide, and no region is left for that. I mean, we are seeing that. I'll quote you an example. We are going, so everybody is planning for their new crop shipments, and when we go to the shipping lines and ask for containers, so they are offering only for 2 coasters or 3 coasters max to max, and after that for Q3 and Q4 they're saying the freight has to go up, and I mean space is a big problem at the moment. So long story short, yes, the problems are we are seeing those problems at the moment, both in at the origin and in Turkey as well.
Okay. So how much freight difference between containers and the 25-30,000 tons vessel, and any possibility 6 or 8,000 tons coasters come directly to Pakistan?
I mean, good question, but a very tough one, I would say, because right now the kind of volatility we are seeing in freight market is more than what we are seeing in the commodity market, I would say. So, I mean, to give you a perspective, I would reckon from origin somewhere close to a difference of $20 to $30 of a difference between a handy vessel and a container. But it also depends whether the shipper is doing directly from Russia to Pakistan or from Russia to Turkey, and then from Turkey to Pakistan. So yeah, there is because there is internal transition which also happens, and there's a cost involved for that. So give or take between a handy vessel and container, it should be somewhere close to $25 to $30 at the moment, which can, of course, the spread can increase and maybe narrowing down. I don't think so, but yeah, the spread might increase more on that. Yeah. Possibility of sorry, your next question, possibility of doing a smaller vessel of 8-10,000 tons.
Yeah,
I don't think so. I don't think so. That will be a good option at the moment, looking at the freight rates, because that I mean that advantage will be lost versus a container shipment. And we have seen in the past, if a volume cargo, if let's say 8,000 tons or 10,000 tons of cargo arrive at the same time at the port, so we have seen the local markets going down a bit. So I think that people will shy away from doing it at the moment, and they would prefer to ship out in containers.
Okay, how much yield they get normally? How much yield they get normally, and what is farmers' cost nowadays, both Russia and Ukraine?
Yield has been pretty consistent over the past few years. It's somewhere close to 2.5 tons per hectare, somewhere close to that. And weather has been good. I mean, we saw recent rains in Ukraine. We might see some wet finish. Harvest is around the corner, and yes, I mean, we'll see both the countries entering into harvest in the coming couple of weeks. Farmers, I mean, Farhan bhai would agree to what I say. Farmers get a very low yield in yellow peas, and the returns is very low as compared to other products. So that's why they would want to wait and sell their produce, and they would generally want to sell the other commodities. For example, in Black Sea, we see a good production of wheat. So at the moment, because the holding of the farmers is huge, and they have they have been earning decent money. So yeah, they would want to wait at the moment for offering peas, and they would want to offload their wheat. And what they say in the local market, the spread has to be somewhere close to $40 to $50 a ton. Then only the farmer is happy, and which is at the moment somewhere close to $10 to $15.
Okay, Farhan bhai, same question with you, sir. How much yield they get normally in Canada, and what is the farmer cost of yellow peas?
As far as the yield is concerned, it's about 40 bushels an acre, which is about roughly 1.1 tons an acre. So about an acre is generally the norm. Again, as I said, this year is going to be quite different. In some areas, we might see an average yield, and in some areas, we might see below average yields. But generally speaking, 1.40 bushels an acre is what we consider as an average yield in Canada. In terms of costs concerned, it's a very difficult question to answer. The reason is not just because there are three costs involved. One is the input cost, which is the direct cost of the seed. Second is their land cost and labor cost. So if we combine the three, it's very hard to say that what is the exact cost per ton for them, because everybody is different in terms of taking as the land cost. Some farmers are owning the land, some farmers are renting the land. Some farmers are leasing the land. So there's a lot of things behind that. Again, labor costs, obviously there are smaller farmers whose labor cost is much higher. Some farmers who are running big conglomerates, having 40,000, 50,000 acres of farming, again, their costing is different. So on an average, if we are to consider, I think we will be considering anywhere from $200 to $300 a ton as a cost in terms of Canadian dollars.
Okay. Zakir, are you there? I think he lost again. Mr. Zakir Kaz? Zakir Kaz is missing, I think. Habib bhai?
Hello.
Zakir?
Yes.
What is the replacement of yellow peas in Pakistan, and why Pakistan don't try producing yellow peas locally?
For us, actually, yellow peas has its own taste, as said by the Habib bhai before earlier, and it's been developed. The taste of the yellow peas is developed on past years, and as such, there is no such replacement or cheaper product or substitute is available for the yellow peas, because nowadays you see the rate of the yellow peas is very cheaper around you see the other agro products, and the yellow peas rate is very cheaper. So it's all depend upon the prices. That's why there is, I think, in my opinion or in some other, there is no substitute available for the yellow peas.
Okay, so you mean yellow peas ghabrana nahi hai?
Ghabrana nahi hai.
Habib bhai?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, what is the cost of splitting and flour in local factories, and how much factories processing yellow peas in Pakistan?
Okay, so I'll take your the second part of your question first. I think that there are around 15 to 20 factories in Karachi which are processing yellow peas actively and all year round, and maybe around 5 factories in other provinces, so Balochistan and Punjab. Maybe sometimes when the milling becomes attractive and there's more demand, some mills which are processing chickpeas or masoor at another time might come into yellow peas, but active factories are around 20 to 25. As for the cost that we incur while producing yellow split peas, it's around 3,500 to 4,500 rupees per metric ton. So around 3.5 to 4.5 rupees per kg. Understand that this cost fluctuates when the husk prices go up and down. So the chilka and the husk, which is becomes more expensive, the milling becomes attractive. But in general, we can say 3,500 to 4,500 rupees per metric ton, which translates to around 21 to 28 US dollars per metric ton. So So on average, $25 per metric ton for processing whole yellow peas into split yellow peas. The second step is when we go from split yellow peas to flour. So that process also costs around 8,000 rupees per metric ton. So which is around $50 per metric ton. So understand $25 to get to split yellow peas, and then another $50 to get to flour.
Okay, you mean $28 splitting cost and 310 if you buy, then 338, yeah, 338 price of split in local Pakistan.
Yeah. So $28 should cover should cover the conversion from whole to split.
Okay. How much quantity imported by industries? Pakistani industries.
Yeah, so for example, a dal mill or a dal factory, which you would call the industry, probably only 15 to 20% of the total quantity that is imported directly by the factory, and the rest of the imports, like 80%, would probably be commercial importers who are importing this. So then they would probably be supplying directly to the miller, or they would be taking it to their warehouse for further selling later on. So I think it would be safe to say that 20% by the factories and 80% by the commercial importers.
Okay. Brijesh, Mr. Brijesh Panda.
Yes, Farhad bhai.
Some news in market that India will re-export yellow peas. My question is, how much quantity they can re-export, and is this quality fit for human consumption?
Coming to your first question, that India is looking to re-export yellow peas, that question that is easier said than done. There are lot many technicalities involved at the moment, though there is an announcement, and that is a possibility, but it is a lot more complex than what the outer world sees, because of the inland technicalities involved in terms of customs, clearance, getting approvals from the authorities, finding a buyer, arranging logistics, everything. So that is quite difficult at the moment. I would say, okay, fine. If you'll ask me, the shortest answer is yes. There is a theoretical possibility that India has to re-export some of the quantity of the yellow peas which are stuck in the ports. There is a theoretical possibility. So if at all that happens, then given that all the clearances are done on time and in a smooth manner, then India may have this opportunity to re-export some of the quantities. Coming to the total volume, opinions vary, but minimum of 180,000 tons to a maximum of 250,000 tons. Opinions vary on this because of several factors. Still, we can say this is a range of volumes that are still stuck at the port, which are looking for a home abroad. And importers who are stuck with that are looking opportunities to get rid of this material in the nearby markets like Dubai or say Bangladesh or any other avenue where they can. So this is the quantity which we can look at maximum. Now coming to the quality of that particular product, it is almost like the oldest crop, we would say somewhere around, arrived at around 1.5 years back. Some cargo may be 2 years old, some, but not much. Average, if we take, it will be somewhere around, say, 1 year to 1.5 years in between. That's maybe 15 months since they arrived at Indian ports. So if we consider their crop origin, like harvest time, it will be maximum of 2 years time period. Into that 2 years time period, what we have seen, there have been, like, there were few container volumes which were re-exported from India, and the quality was okay. I would not say it is very bad or it is even feed quality or feed grade material, but still it's okay, because the buyers who got this and got it to processing, they didn't have much problem with that. So
Mhm.
yes, I'm not ruling out that there may be some deterioration in quality for some of the volume, but not that entire one. So if you ask me on a conservative side, I would say 20 to 25% of that material may have some impact. Some impact means that is not total wastage. So if we can talk technically, then damage and insect damage and other quality damage would be 2 to 3% max, because the importers who have imported those material, they have also taken good care of that material, because if they had got any opportunity to get this cargo cleared, then they were also looking to realize some money on that. So the cargo has been taken care of. So it's not that bad what the people may perceive. And also I would say it's not that much of stress cargo what people are thinking, because there are a lot of cost and funds have been invested into, and people are not that desperate to get rid of the material or whatever throwaway prices. So that we shouldn't consider that will be going to the markets in a stress cargo manner, and this will bring the markets down. So that is a difficult possibility given the situation what is prevailing over here. It's like the re-export thing is not that simple as it is being perceived in the outer world.
Do you think,
if I may add to what Brijesh comments are for re-export of Indian peas, there have been two kinds of things involved in the peas quality. Is that the cargo has been in bond, and there is some cargo which is in containers. The majority of the cargo has been in the bonded warehouses, where we do not see any problem in terms of quality at all, because they've been just treated as like being a regular warehouse. They've been regularly fumigated, and they've been taking care of the quality. So there is no issues of quality down there, which is, yes, there could be some possibility, as Brijesh says, which are the cargo which is in containers. Yes, there could be some deterioration over there. But yellow peas are resilient in terms of, they're not going to go, it's not a green lentil which may go bad in 2 years. It is yellow peas, end of the day. So there could be some deterioration. And in terms or exporter who's going to re-export the cargo at cheap levels, when they can hold for 2 years, they can even hold for another year. And so there has been a misconception in the market. There were rumors that people are willing to sell for feed, and $200 cargo will be available, $250 cargo will be available. I think this is all, to be, in my opinion, false rumors, and I don't think there's any truth to that. So that's not going to happen. That's just my 2 cents to it. So
yes, agreed. Yeah, agreed 100%.
But I think if a price, if they will sell at lower price, feed market can buy whole quantity. I think today Pakistan is buying $250 feed items. So what you are saying, Farhan bhai, and about the price of,
to be honest, Farhan bhai, the costs involved are so high that it does not make any sense for the exporter to sell at $250. So it doesn't make. So this market won't be flooded at these levels. You can imagine for 2 years, whoever are waiting for payments or whoever has invested so far, they can easily absorb this and wait for another year if need be to get their price level. So this product will not be flooded in the market. And as far as quality is concerned, most of the cargo is in bonded warehouses, so that we won't see any issues down there as well.
Okay. My last question for today's webinar with Mr. Agarwal is, why they have increased crop area, as for other products they are getting better price than yellow peas?
No, I mean, the crop area is almost the same in both the Black Sea countries, Faraz bhai. There is no change in area at the moment.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, area is same, and yield also remain consistent. So yeah, I mean, as I said, production has been consistent in Russia and Ukraine both. So I mean, I would not agree. Yeah, so it is the same. Yeah.
Okay. I have many more questions, but due to shortage of time, I would like to go for the audience session. Admin, please allow questions from audience. I'm not seeing any question. So admin,
Yes, Faraz bhai.
yeah, 1 second.
There are about 10 questions, and I would encourage the attendees to upvote, comment on each question that they like, so we can pick it up and the panel can answer those questions. So you can see
Okay.
from the list now.
1
Okay,
second. Let me.
You want me to take? I can see a question. At what price level CNF Karachi in containers will European feed buyers take interest for yellow peas from Black Sea? So, I mean, of late we have been seeing offers at 300 levels, and if you talk about true replacement at the moment, it would be somewhere close to 340 levels. But when you talk about CNF container equivalent for Karachi, I think 300 to 310 levels is a very good support that we will see good support from the feed market. And yes, so this is, I mean, what we feel is this is the bottom level for CFR equivalent to Karachi.
Okay. One question from Karan Gupta. Russia production 2.7 million ton. Local consumption 2.2 million tons. Balance 0.5 million tons. Is 0.5 million tons sufficient for Turkey, Europe, or Indian subcontinent?
That's why we say these values which you're seeing are the bottom values for us, because the consumption, the consumption from Black Sea goes into feed market and into India subcontinent. So feed market is very price sensitive as well. And, you know, at these values, they will, because we are seeing a lot of, you know, this is the best product produced available at a cheaper rate. So yeah, the consumption, a minimum is 700K between Ukraine and Russia, minimum, that is between two countries, Spain and Italy, and a couple of more countries if you add, that is minimum somewhere close to 800 to 900K. And so yeah, I mean, the transport is easy, and you know, coasters can go, so cheaper freight rates as well as compared to shipping out into India subcontinent, wherein there is a longer wait time, longer transit time, and everything. So yes, I mean, I think that answers.
Okay, Farhan bhai, one question is, what's the lowest price you can see in yellow peas?
It all depends. Russia, Ukraine, and Canada, these three are the main guys who are the yellow pea exporters. Canada, in terms of CNF values into Pakistan, won't be below 400. There's no, like 400 even, it doesn't make any sense, because I think China is paying $375, $380 in terms of in bulk vessels. So Pakistan is out of the market. I feel that this 300 levels, what we saw recently in the last week from Russia mainly were, I think there was a lot of short sellers there, and I think they will be caught on the wrong side of the market. The freight rates, before Abhishek, I don't want to steal what you said before, but I think the freight rates in Russia are bound to go up. We haven't seen that increase yet. And there are no containers available in Turkey. So the transit trade that was happening, the coasters going into Turkey and then re-exported to Pakistan or Bangladesh or Dubai, I think that market will be very small this year, because there are no containers available in Turkey. The Russian freights are going to go much higher. There is going to be a shortage, in my opinion, and that will increase freights over there as well. So I think these 300 levels are good numbers to buy, 300, 310 levels. And if these numbers continue, I think most of the crop will be bought from a lot of countries. I think Bangladesh will become a big buyer as well. Pakistan is not the only market. I think Nepal will step in as well. Dubai will step in as well. So 300 are, I think, the lowest numbers we will see during this year.
Yeah, I mean, totally agree to you.
One more question from Mr. Will Watson. Refer the Pakistani desi crop with a delayed monsoon and a poor crop last year. Do you see another round of yellow peas buying coming to cover this? Zakir? Mr. Zakir?
Yes. Yes.
This is for you question. Refer the Pakistani desi crop with a delayed monsoon and a poor crop last year. Do you see another round of yellow peas buying coming to cover this?
Yeah, but it's depend on the price. The price, as Farnbhai said, the level of 295 to 300 and 305, in my opinion, is a good price to buy. And the rate you think when you will convert into the Pakistani currency, there is a rate difference of around 40 to 35 to 40 rupees difference. Because the desi price is now at today is 100, and the yellow bees price is around today is in local our market is around 54. So it means there is a lot of a difference of a rate between two products. So might be, I think they we have is a good rate for the buying.
Okay. One more question from. That was the question.
If I may intervene, Faraz bhai,
I think
I'm seeing a lot of questions are in the Q&A about the freight.
I saw the question. I saw the question from our president. I am looking this question. Where is the question? I just received question from Ahmed. Yeah, I don't know where is the question. One more question. Current freight rate from Novorus Port to Karachi is 101 US per metric ton.
Correct. Somewhere close to that, yes. I mean, it depends, but yeah, I mean, so the container freight rate has been going up, and as Farhan bhai also said, you know, it is hovering between 80 to 100, 110 bucks, depending on the shipping line. But equipments availability, I mean, as I said earlier as well, every origin country is facing that problem, and this will go on. And I think we will see a lot of hiccups in availability of containers, maybe for next 1 year or 1.5 years. So I think we were reading an article the other day. I think this container problem will remain firm to for the next till end of 2022, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, viewers. I would like to thank to our PPIA president, vice president, and all managing committee members on my selection for this webinar. And a special thanks to Mr. Fahad Damia for his hard working and made this webinar possible. So any last message, Abhishek, for viewers?
I would say we need to watch out for the freight market and the spread. I mean, the freight market is remaining firm. Spread between yellow peas and chickpea has to be watched out. I mean, we've been saying we are seeing the spread is somewhere close to $300 on the offer side. Local market, I think it's somewhere close to 325 levels. Once we see the spread going up, then we might see some demand destruction, I think. But overall, I think we have seen the bottom across on the pulses, on the yellow peas, and this market has to go up actually. So yeah.
Farhan bhai, please give your final comment.
I kind of agree with Abhishek on this. I think on yellow peas, we have seen the bottom numbers. 300 numbers are, I feel, a very low number to be, and these are, I think, oversold numbers. These numbers, I would encourage all buyers to be in the long position. I don't think you can go wrong on these numbers. Yellow peas are a good substitute for desi chickpeas. The desis are, again, nowhere below 670, 700 bucks anywhere you see. And in the next couple of months, I think things should look higher. So I'm pretty bullish on both desi and yellow peas going forward.
Okay, Brijesh, please, any message from you?
Yeah. On this, total yellow peas scenario, what we see at the moment, yellow peas in the subcontinent has got its own inherent consumption and it has got a market share. So earlier it was being perceived as a cheapest substitute for the chickpeas. That is actually not the case at the moment. What we see, it has got its own inherent consumption. There is got its own buyers and consumers. And that's what I will see that going forward, we will see it will remain and slowly shape it up. And what we see, the global situation happening, the demands have changed. The demand pattern is changing, as Farhan mentioned rightly, that feed protein extraction is going on. What we'll see going forward, the demand pattern will shape up into different levels, and the buying pattern will also evolve. That what we see. Plus, current situation, what's happening. Of course, the Canadian weather is definitely a concern. So if anyone is expecting that, okay, there will be cheaper peas available in the market and all these things, and there will be supplies, at least I don't see that.
Okay, Habib bhai, from you, please.
Faraj bhai, if we have 2 or 3 minutes, I would like to ask a question to the other panelists.
We have short time, actually. 59 minutes already.
It's a short question. I just want to ask them that, you know, how we are saying that the freight now is almost $100 per metric ton from Russia to Karachi. So what was this freight prior to COVID? Like, let's say last January when COVID hadn't come, what was the freight at that time?
Abhishek?
Almost 40 lower, I would reckon. Somewhere close to 30 to $40 lower than that, $30 to $40.
So if we were trading yellow peas at a minimum level of 250, maybe 240 at the minimum at that time, and if I minus $60 freight, that would mean that $180 is the lowest that the Canadian farmer is interested in giving yellow peas. Just like Farhan bhai said that the Canadian farmer wants to give is minimum 300. So the Russian farmer is comfortable with 180, 190, or let's say $200.
No. In the last
300 was never for the Canadian
No.
farmers.
Yeah.
And again, I think you're mistaking some calculations over there.
Correct.
The freight was anywhere from $60 to $70 a ton, not $60, $70 less. This is from Russia. Canada has been consistent about $80 to $100 a ton.
Correct.
Okay. So the $300 mark that we're seeing from Russia, you think is an absolute minimum that we would see?
Exactly. That's what we are saying.
For the new levels of freight that we are seeing.
And you have to see the complex as well in terms of farmers. You know, the wheat prices are so strong, canola, oilseed prices are so strong, everything else is so strong. So peas is the cheapest. They do not want to, they're no hurry to sell at these levels. So they're going to hold that as the longest, and they've seen $400 levels, so they don't need to sell that today.
Same is the case in Black Sea. I'll just add to you, Farhan bhai, because the growers always look at the spread between wheat and peas as well, because in peas, as I said earlier as well, they get the lowest returns. So that's the most toughest crop for the growers. And till the time the spread is $40 or $50, they will be happy to sell. Otherwise, they will continue to hold. And they have been doing in the past, and they will do in the future as well. At the moment, the spread is somewhere close to $15. That's it. So, farmers have the capacity to hold. So, yeah.
Just a quick question, Farhan. With the weather concern in PNW also, do we see the pet food in the US is going to demand much more peas from Canada this time?
For sure, because the weather in US is also it's burning over there as well. So you will see a much lower production of yellow peas over there as well. So there will be a lot of Canadian peas moving into the US too. So that's true.
That will definitely surpass last year's numbers.
Sorry, for sure. The US is going to be importing much more than what it imported last year.
Thanks.
Okay, Habib bhai.
Thank you.
Closing message? Any closing message from you, Habib bhai?
No, I would just like to thank everyone who participated, everyone from the Global Pulses fraternity, and particularly from the Yellow Peas family that we are all part of. I would like to thank all the people, the farmers, if there are any, the exporters, the traders who are participating from at an international level. And I would also like to thank and give my best regards to all our local Yellow Peas family, the traders, the importers, the brokers, and the millers. So I hope that we can have another good year of importing, processing, and supplying yellow peas. And so that's it. I would like to end on that note, and I take your leave, and I hope that we all stay safe, and that may God bless us all. And on this note, I would take your leave. Thank you.
Zakir, aapke final comments, bhai?
I think Zakir is not with us, but there was a question from the audience. about the recent requirement of invoice and packing lists inside each container. Would you like to shed some light on that? PPI has been trying.
I think it's not time to discuss on this. I think so. We will discuss later for that matter. This is complicated matter. So anyways, thanks audience for your participation and watching this webinar. Hope you all have a good and valuable information. In the end, I would like to thank again our panelists. Without them, this webinar would not be possible. Can watch the same on our YouTube channel, Pakistan Pulses Importers Association. Have a nice day. Bye and take care.